So we've been waiting for it, and finally it's time for the Green Apatite Genuine. What up friends, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another episode of The Paint Show. And today, as I mentioned, we're gonna look at Green Apatite Genuine. This one was sent to me by Uwe, my follower. Thank you so much for providing us with this awesome color to go over. I do have some things I wrote down here because I think there's just a lot of information to cover, especially when we're talking about the Primatek series. So this belongs to the Primatek series. I have a 15 milliliter tube here, again Daniel Smith. The Primatek series is Daniel Smith's series of natural pigments, meaning these are made of minerals and rocks. The preparation process, the production process is a little different from other synthetic pigments, though even though they call it natural, it still can be called synthetic to some degree, just because it is going through this process of manipulation and grounding the pigment. So it's not like you take a rock, you smash it and mix it directly. Okay, there's quite a lot of production going on in there, although they are definitely more natural than the other paints. So anyway, this series is generally dark valued and has low chroma. Meaning one of the implications of this, I believe, is that you just need to sometimes mix a little more to produce a strong color, and this also connects with the tinting properties. Most of the series has low tinting. This basically means how much you need, again, to mix the color to produce just a strong and intense color. Okay, so when you have low tinting, you will need to mix more and more color, meaning they will run out faster. When the tinting is high, you won't need as much. This also has an effect on how dominant the color will be when mixed with other colors. Okay, so for example, if you look at the carbazole violet that I showed in a few videos here, the moment you put that color into a mix, you know it's gonna dominate it completely. So if you have this kind of color that you know you need just a little drop of, or just a touch with the brush, or else it will completely obliterate the mixture, then it probably has strong tinting. Good examples of this are the phthalo blue, the carbazole violet, as I mentioned. I believe what's the name of this one? Also the quinacridone burnt orange is quite strong in this sense. The pyrrole scarlet is also pretty strong. Even the quinacridone rose, all by Daniel Smith, are fairly strong. If you look at Schminke, I believe the indigo one is pretty strong as well. So anyway, this is a side tangent. This one, as opposed to the rest of the series, has strong tinting. Okay, generally they have low tinting. This one is very strong, and you will soon see in the demo. It is very strong. So it belongs to the phosphate family, and I actually went on a very useful website called HandPrint. If you don't know it, I'll put a link below. You have to check it out. It's really good for information. I actually get quite a lot of information from there, and they have a description for apatite that I just want to read out to you because it's way too nerdy for me to just remember. So it's an anhydrous calcium phosphate. It's a part of the phosphate family. It can produce the colors white, red, yellow, blue, and green in this instance, and also violet. One thing that it says here that's quite funny, it says that apatite enhances creativity and contact with UFOs. So yes, if you want to have contact with UFOs, use this one. I don't know why it's so weird. The HandPrint is usually a very serious website, and with this one and with this entire article, they wrote like the spiritual properties of these natural minerals. So this is quite an interesting detail actually. Now a bit more about the color itself. So it is granulating. Obviously all of this series I believe granulates, and you will soon see it has a very interesting effect. It sort of separates. One interesting thing about it is that it also has an excellent light fastness. Okay, so it won't fade like in at least 100 years, probably more. It is low staining and semi-transparent. Now, staining, not to be mixed with tinting, is two different things. Staining is how much the paper will be stained, or even the palette. Tinting is how much you need to produce a strong color, a vibrant color. So there are a lot of interesting things going on with this one, especially the separation that I want you to really see. It appears as though there is sort of a brown pigment that separates from a very bright, sort of marker-ish green. Okay, so this is what I want you to see. So let's change the angle and take a look at this. Okay, so let's start swatching this so that you can really see what the color looks like and what it how it behaves. If you look around, you'll see all the swatches of other greens, as a lot of you have asked me to make a comparison, which I think is a very, very smart idea because it's really cool to see what it looks like in relations to others. So we have here olive green, we have sap green, and we have phthalo green. We have quite a lot of greens, just so that you can see what it compares. And now I'm zoomed in a bit, but if you go back, you'll see again all of them together. And now I'm trying a bit of wet and wet. I find that just doing different things with the paint brings out different aspects to it. So hopefully already you can see the beautiful granulations on the left, this sort of a brownish in green there. What I really want to show you is how the color separates, which is really cool. We'll get to see this in a moment when I zoom in, but also on the palette itself, I believe I will show you. Also now I'm going to try a few dry brush strokes. I'm going to move the angle a bit so that you can see. Just trying to get a better feeling for what the paint behaves like. You can see it's really different from the Schminke ones because they both don't granulate, the phthalo green and the olive green. And the Daniel Smiths do granulate. So let's now take a closer look at what it looks like. So before I wrap up, I just wanted to bring the camera real close so that you can see the separation I was talking about. And if you look at this, you can really see how there's some very bright green areas, and in the middle, in the center, you can see these sort of brown particles that separate, and this is just beautiful. Here's again just a quick comparison of what it looks like next to the other greens, some of the dry brush strokes, and also I just wanted to show you, here you can also see the separation. Do you see that ultra bright green in the middle? And there you have also the brown particles. So I hope that makes things a little clearer. Let me change the angle and wrap up this video. Okay friends, so I hope the demo makes things clearer and now you can better understand what type of result to expect with this. The entire Primatek series, there isn't an awful lot of information out there, and so websites like HandPrint become really useful because they gather a lot of useful information, so you can check it out again in the link in the description box below. And again, I just hope you enjoyed it and maybe you can try playing around with it. What I would do is, maybe if you do want to experiment with the Primatek, is maybe get one and then have it replace a color on your palette. For example, this one could replace the sap green, and just try and work with that, and of course find like a triad or something that it'll work as a part of. And just try out with one, because they have so much going on, and if you use a few it can get all messy. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Paint Show. If you still haven't, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I will see you again in another video tomorrow.